first off, like, I say it all the time when I come in here. Like, I grew up in Indiana, I grew up in Indianapolis, and I've been watching Big Ten basketball for a long, long time. And, like, there's nobody that I have more respect for than Coach Izzo and his program. And, like, the standard bearer for our league, based on all his accomplishments, what he's done consistently year in, year out, like, to be able to, like, there's almost times where you're like, you just look down there and laugh, like, man, that's Tom Izzo. And he's won more games than, like, I don't know, me and probably 50 other people like me combined. So, like, the greatest honor is to compete. And he said it before the game that, like, he's like, you guys, you're going to get one of these. I hope it's not tonight. But I thought, like, our guys really competed. And I'm happy for our guys. Like, they deserve this in terms of how they played and what they've done. But, like, it's an honor for me to coach against Tom Izzo. And, like, he gives a model for how we build our programs and what we do and how his teams get better and better and better as the year goes on, and they stay consistent, and guys get better and guys wait their turn and they come in and they're a good player, and, like, it goes on and on and on and it runs itself, and, like, that's who we want to be. That's who we want to be, and hopefully we're building that way for the future.
Micah, that text seemed like a long time coming. What sort of set you off from that standpoint that finally put you over the edge, and how do you think your team responded to that sort of emotionally charged moment?
Yeah, I don't know, it was like probably them playing a lot better. Maybe it set me off a little bit. I thought our guys were competing. I disagreed with the official and what he called, but at the end of the day, like, he called a tech. It was over right after that, right? And I went to him and I was like, hey, man, sorry. Like, it is what it is. And he said the same exact thing, and we kind of moved on from it. But, like, immediately, like, Miles came over and was like, hey, we got you, Coach. We got you. And we had an older group on the court at the time, and I thought they really responded and, like, really played hard from that moment defensively. Like, we really locked in terms of what we needed to do. I thought our offense got better from that moment on. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm a dummy for waiting this long to get one.
Coach, I wanted to piggyback off what you said in your opening statement about Coach Izzo. He sat down here just a couple minutes ago and was very complimentary of the program, very complimentary of you, saying that you were certainly the right guy for this job. What is something like that for him to you?
Yeah, like I said, he's like, for us, there's a lot of really good coaches in this league. But, like, what he's done, like winning national championships and going to Final Fours, my numbers are crazy. I think like 8, maybe, Final Fours. Like, we were in one, like 2010, Butler versus Michigan State in the semifinals in Indianapolis. And then, like, the pros, like the guys that are in the NBA currently and before that, like, that's a model for who we need to be and who we want to be. And, like, for him to say that is, like, it's an honor for me. Like I said, it's an honor for me to be down the sideline against him. Right? Like, I was watching. This is come as a shock. I said it before. I watched the pregame shows, and, like, I was watching all the stuff. I'm like, man, he is about to tie Bob Knight for, like, Big Ten wins for coaches. Like, that's so impressive. But that's longevity, man. That's winning year after year after year, and if I can be half the coach he is, and I've had a successful career.
Can you speak to the job that John did? 16 rebounds against that team is like 25 against a lot of teams, and
Yeah.
the and one, how big was that at that moment of the game when you guys had struggled in those spots?
Yeah, John's a warrior, man. He's a warrior. He gives you everything he has. Like, there is no, like, did John play hard tonight? Yes, John plays hard. Like, I don't know, that's probably like a Twitter thing. I always see that. Did the Celtics win tonight? It's like, yes. Did John play hard? Of course John played hard. He was in there battling by himself, right? We sent 4 guys back in transition. And John fought. We could do that because there wasn't a fear of John not sprinting back on defense every single time. He was going to go as hard as possible to the glass and run back as hard as he needs to. And, I talk about those clips that we're going to show of John. These will be some of them, right? You can play this hard. Like, if John can do it, anybody can do it, right? In terms of effort. That's all it is. It's pure effort, heart, determination, and a love for Penn State. Like, he wants Penn State to do really well. And 16 points, 16 rebounds is really impressive. And they threw a bunch of guys. Like, they have a bunch of good players at the 5, and they threw those guys all at him. And, he just kept going and going and going. And, got to get him some rest. He's got to do it again on Thursday.
Coach Drews, your team was down 14 at one point. What started the 8-0 run prior to your timeout?
You know what? They came out of the second half like really determined, right? Like that's one thing we talked about. I didn't think halftime was probably going to be a picnic for them, right? But they came out on fire. Like we weren't great in terms of closing out and getting to their shooters. They got some offensive rebounds. They're attacking around. They were doing everything right. And, we were a little slow out of the gate. So now once we got down, we've been down before. And we've come back and we chipped away. But we do it, we talk about doing it one possession at a time. Right? There's no 14-point shot. But everything gets magnified. I think every defensive possession gets magnified. Every offensive possession gets magnified. I think we finished with 2 turnovers in the second half, so we were maximizing the shots that we were going to get. And we just, luck was with us. We made some tough shots. We made some timely shots and, knocked in our free throws down the stretch.
Michael, what changed with the turnovers in the second half?
That's a great question. You have, once you insert Sam with Pickett, you have 2 guys, both ball handlers, like John and is getting better and better in terms of how he's handling the ball. So now he's up there catching it and moving it and doing different things. So we were just sure-handed in terms of what we wanted to do. And if you look at it throughout, mostly throughout this year, we've turned the ball over, but like we shoot ourselves in the foot early. But as the game gets going, we get tighter and tighter, and we don't normally turn the ball over. Minnesota game will be one of the exceptions where we turned it over late, but we usually don't late in the game. We just started a little bit earlier. I'm glad we did because we needed every single one of those possessions.
Like you faced this Michigan State program at a number of stops throughout your tenure. I'm wondering what this Michigan State team maybe doesn't have that some of his best teams have, and what sort of your scout out these guys? Yeah,
they're they got guys that they're a little bit, they're counting on younger guys to play kind of main roles for them, right? If you think about their group, Hogarth's young, right? Walker just got there. Max Christie. Malik Hall is still, fairly young. Malik's a junior, right? And so,
yes.
But they're usually seniors are carrying their group, and that's what it is. And Bingham's had a good year for him, and he's played well. I think Joey's done it at times, but those guys are the ones that usually carry this team. So I think counting on these younger guys, I still think they're gonna they still have a lot of growth left in them, right? It's hard to win on the road. It's hard for young guys to play well on the road. I don't know why that is. That's something that if somebody ever figures that out and bottles that up, they would make a lot of money. Why people struggle on the road, why young people struggle on the road. So I just don't like, they do it, they can hurt you in a lot of different areas, but it's not consistent in that area, right? They don't have like one go-to guy that they go to. Like they need a bucket, they're doing this, they're running this play and they're going to this guy right here. I think there's a lot of different guys that can step up for him, a lot of guys that have stepped up for him at times, but it gets hard when you got a bunch of guys that, you know, based on the game, who do you go to at the end, right? And if you look in the past, like Cassius is getting those shots, right? Denzel's getting those shots. I don't know if they have that guy right now. They got a lot of guys that are capable. They got a lot of guys that, like, they're really good players that will probably be that for them here, but I think just the transition of not having seniors that they always count on to carry them, I think it's probably the difference right now.
Good last question.
Back in East Lansing in December, I felt like it was a similar type of game script. You guys were in the first half, game started to slip away. It kind of felt that way now when you guys are down 14 with 13 to play. What has been the growth in this team since then?
That game was crazy because they scored more transition points than like we've scored all season in one game, and it came in spurts. We had to adjust what we did defensively, or in terms of on the offensive glass and on the defensive glass, where they couldn't get those. And now, like, they're so potent in transition, you got to almost slow it to a crawl. And that's what we did, right? We made it a half-court game, and we made every possession be magnified. So, like, the 8 turnovers for us, the 11 turnovers for them, like, in a game like this, like, add 5 more, because that's what it usually is in a regular game. So, you know, we got the game how we wanted it. We tried to do some different things defensively, like nothing special, but I thought our guys, like, really competed, played hard on the glass. I thought we boxed them out as best we could and went after it. And that's where they crushed us in game 1, transition and rebounding. And we've, like, that game, when I went back and watched it, it was so long ago. So you see growth from kind of both teams. But I think our guys, you know, played with the same spirit. And when they got down, or when we got down, like, we got tighter as a group. We came together as a group, and you know, that's kind of where you're seeing the growth in our team. Like, when adversity hits, who are we? Who are we? And tonight we responded when adversity hit us.